So, buddy, back in 1996, the Florida Panthers made their only trip to the Stanley Cup Final. Johnny Van Viesbroek was on the team. They were playing against like Sakic and Forsberg, Kaminsky, all them. Patrick Waugh. Colorado had just moved from Quebec to Colorado, right? Stanley Cup Final, and Florida got swept. First game was a 3-1 loss. Then they got walloped 8-1. Then they lost 3-2, and then Game 4 they lost 1-0 in triple overtime to get swept by the Colorado Avalanche. Colorado celebrates with the Stanley Cup. Florida doesn't see a Stanley Cup final until this year, where they're the number 8 seed. They make the Stanley Cup final. They're playing against the Vegas Golden Knights, and oh my God, it's 96 all over again. And I say 96 all over again because the first game, 5-2, and there was parts of the game where you're like, wow, Vegas is all over them. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. Hearing that Vegas is beating Florida, hearing that Vegas is winning and dominating, it makes me upset as well. I understand, buddy. Like it's not a good thing. But it's not a good thing any of these teams are in the finals, is it? No, exactly. It should be the Leafs, right? But anyway, this is kind of going the same route, and I think Florida might get swept. I think it's 96 all over again. Like, they had a good game in Game 1, but turnovers, penalties, and just lost, like, coverage in their own zone. Like, Vegas had too many them versus Bobrovsky, or multi-men versus Bobrovsky. And they're shooting high on them, they're beating them, and there we go. It's, next you know, Florida loses 5-2, okay? Could have been 4-2, could have been 3-2, was a stone stick, high stick, no. But they lost. If we talk about the game, it was rough. Of course, that's what you expect. There was high elbows from Florida. Vegas, put in a few licks of their own. And I was like, okay, this is what we're going to see this series. And then last night, honestly, this was Colorado versus Florida 8-1 win. But instead, a little twist. It was 7-2 win for Vegas. The first 2 goals last night, Ren, you were asleep. Actually, you were up for a bit of it because you were bounced around until about 9. So it was already, these 2 goals were quite big, but you were awake for these. You just weren't watching the game with Daddy. The first goal, okay. All right, fair play, good goal, but at the same time, okay, Marchessault scores again. I get it. But should they have been on that power play? No. In my opinion, no. Because it should have been negated. 1, I don't even know what Lomberg did to get his penalty. But 2, I know Barbashev was protecting himself because Gudas was being a freight train. But he also got Gudas right in the face. So those should have been canceled out, in my opinion. But great goal by Marchessault. Shooting high. What a screen by Stone. If you noticed, you didn't notice because you were in your bedroom. But instead of just taking like the center of Bobrovsky away, and he can look side to side, they're taking away the left side, the glove side from him. So he has to look all the way around the one way, or he's gonna have to peek the other way. And they're shooting high glove on him. It worked in Game 1, and it worked here again. Well, they're just shooting glove side. It was a beautiful goal, and so they're up 1-0. And then Matty Tkachuk gets cross-checked from behind. I think it was by Haig, but don't quote me on it who it was. He goes into the net. Maybe helps himself in there a little bit, looking for a penalty. Nothing. And as he's skating through, Hill, full-on, hook sticks him right in the gut. Nothing. No call. And Martinez goes down the other way, and he eventually scores. Again, screen. He kind of bobbles the puck, which actually helps him, and he goes high over Bobrovsky's blocker. They're going high. Toronto, you should have went freaking high. You had a screen, let him go down low, and then go high. But anyway, it makes it 2-0. And then it's just to get in the second period, and then it's 3-0, and it's 4-0, and then at 4-0, I was like, oh God, it's going to get bad here. And then boom, Tkachuk absolutely wallops Jack Eichel. He gets a penalty on the play. I think it was 2 minutes. And then eventually gets a 10-minute misconduct. And I'm like, what? And his misconduct wasn't for the hit, I don't think. The hit was a nice hit. He was coming across the blue line. Eichel's, head was down. He tried to move out of the way, kind of toe picked a bit and got just crushed. Shoulder. I think that's fine. if there's no penalty on Barbashev for the shot on Gudas, there's definitely no penalty here, but there was. And then he gets 10-minute misconduct, and he shoots was it a rat? I think he shot a rat. It wasn't a water bottle. I think he shot a rat back at the bench. And then he like just jabbed a guy's stick out of his hands when they were all chatting. And he got the 10 minutes. And I was like, they've done a whole lot worse. Like in game 1, Stahl had Hag in a freaking sleeper hold, and Tkachuk punched him in the face and got nothing. So I don't know. I guess they were like, I guess the game's out of hand, so we'll call this now. So we're going to the third period, and Florida scores right away. Turnover by Martinez. Duclair gets a chance, stopped by Hill. And I don't even know who shot it, but ended up off Martinez and in, made it 4-1. And then Florida turnover, and Jack Eichel goes down the sideboards. He bodies whoever that D was. And then he gets support, and then everyone forgets that Jonathan Marchessault is on the Vegas Golden Knights. Yeah, he used to play for Florida, but Florida gave him and Riley up for Riley Smith up for nothing to Vegas, and they're both still there and crushing it. And Marchessault has like 13, no, does he have 12 goals in his last 13 games or something stupid? What? Beautiful outweights Lyon. Lyon was in net there. So that made it 5-1. So you're like, oh, there was a little bit of momentum. Oh, now it's 5-1. And then I think that made it 5-1. And then was it Amadio made it 6-1 with Carlson going down the wing and then feeding it back to him? No, I'm way off. Waugh scores a beautiful goal. Oh, maybe that was the fourth one. I'm all over the place. There's so many goals. There were 7 goals last night, right? It doesn't really matter. All I can say is, in the end, Matthew Tkachuk does get his goal. Majority of the Florida Panthers were in the penalty box or not playing, and the bench was scarce. It was just Paul Maurice, Barkov, and a couple others just sitting there going, oh, F me, we suck. It's 96 all over again. They're thinking 96 was 8-1. It's 7-2 here. Bobrovsky can't stop a thing. We're screening the hell out of him. If Vegas isn't screening him, we're screening him, or we're all screening him. And if not, then here you go. Here's a 2-on-1. Here's our defense is really slow. We're going to make a bad pinch. And then both our men are going to go for the one puck carrier and forget the guy out front of the net. Oh, and that happens every time. It happens down low. It happens on the sideboards. It happens up top. And then it's just Vegas dominating. It's domination. That's what it is, Ren. And that's all I can think of is 1996. Now, did I watch the Stanley Cup Final in 1996 at 7 years old? No. But did I have the 1996 VHS, or I think so? I've obviously watched like the highlights of the series. I had Don Cherry's Rock'em Sock'em, so obviously I know what happened. I've seen it. And that's all I can think of. Like, Florida style does not work against Vegas. Vegas throws everyone out. They just say, we're just going to play our game, and it's going to work, and we're going to be deafening, and we're just going to be on you and on you and on you. And if you make a mistake and turn it over, if you're going to play it in that middle of the ice, we're going to pick it off, and we're going to capitalize. And they are. They're doing what Florida did against Boston, against Toronto, against Carolina. And it's working. My God, is it working. And this team that has a $200 million cap, use that luxury, use that LTIR. God, what an expansion team, eh? Speaking with friends before the game, so who do you think's going to get this game? I said, it's Vegas. It's Vegas. They've got them. They're going to win this game, and they did. They did it again, and they dominated. Bobrovsky doesn't know what to do. Lyon obviously didn't know what to do. Florida's defense doesn't know what to do. They're holding on to the puck too long, or they're turning it over. Vegas is hard on the forecheck. When they get the puck, it's go. There's no let's waste, let's take our time. It's no, we're going. We're turning it up, speed up, boom, attack. They're using their points so well. They work that blue line so well, and sure, they're having some guys just like stand in front of Bobrovsky taking his eye line, but they've got other guys just coming across, and the timing of the shots are just working, and that's what happened in game 1. This game, they barely even needed to do that. All they did was, we're going to pressure the defender, or whoever the puck carrier is, just a little bit, and they're going to turn it over, and we're going to come back the other way. Domination, and this could be a sweep. Back to Florida for game 3. So remember, Florida's, they were down 3-1 against Boston, and they pulled it off. They've done it before. Will they do it here? Who knows? But Adin Hill is just being solid, and Vegas has gotten to Bobrovsky. I don't know if Florida has the ability to counter this. I don't. And it's crazy how you go from like Florida's this juggernaut team, this 8th seed, but they're really a juggernaut, to then at this stage. But this is how I felt about Toronto, right? Or everyone did. Toronto finally beats Tampa Bay, and next thing you know, they lose 2 in a row against Florida, and it's like, oh God, what's happening? And this is the momentum swing. I'm excited about game 3. All I know is if Florida doesn't win, it's going to be absolute chaos. It's going to be like UFC, but 5-on-5 on the ice, and Vegas will be like, yeah, sure, I'm in. They don't mind the rough stuff. They don't mind hacking. They don't mind slashing. They don't mind cross-checking. I'll give you a shot to the back of the head. Why not? We all saw Pietrangelo come across the ice and like lacrosse hack Draisaitl. They're in. They're in for it. They'll take whatever game you give them. Florida just seems to take more penalties. Their timing of it is quite bad. Hell, though, Hill did hook the hell out of Tkachuk, and the referee was like staring right at him. So I don't know. It's NHL officiating. It's just trash. But the series is entertaining. Even with the 7-2 win, it was entertaining. So that's my thoughts right now. It's looking like 1996 is happening in 2023 for Florida Panthers. What do you think of the series so far? What do you think of game 1 and 2? And what's going to happen the rest of the series? I think Florida needs to win game 3. She done. Even if they get game 4, it's going to be just like the Leafs done in 5. Anyway, comment down below your thoughts on the game, thoughts on the games, thoughts on the series so far. They gotta stop Jonathan Marchessault, so don't they? Absolute beast. Heck, they tried to stop Eichel, and he got an assist like right after when he came back. Best of luck, Florida. Damn. I feel bad for you guys. But hey, you've done it before. Let's see what happens. I'm really impressed with Vegas, but I don't like them, and I don't want them to win. Ren, who do you want to win? Toronto? Yeah, they're out, buddy. As always. Anyway, take care, everyone. Have a wonderful week. See ya.